Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing something a little bit different. J.K. Rowling. She's famous because of her Harry Potter books. She's like very famous Harry Potter. It's a whole thing. She is like the brains behind it. But it also looks like she lost a few brain cells while creating Harry Potter. And I will be breaking down her transphobia in this video. An international LGBT+ rights review has warned the UK is facing significant damage because of transphobia, hate speech, and J.K. Rowling. So I just wanted to get it out there that J.K. Rowling is doing harm to the trans community, and that proves it. Of course, it's gonna have a big impact because of her large following, but I also wonder, how did J.K. Rowling, a cisgender woman, writer of fantasy, become such a go-to for TERFs? I don't get it. It's the first thing that actually happened. There was a tweet that J.K. liked. Just say that the tweet wasn't very nice, the thing that was linked towards trans women, and J.K. Rowling liked it, and that's how it all started. I'm going to show you. Demonization of Sam Chris and his completely ordinary horrible behavior, sex, the left, and gender identity. And then that person, then they linked, and she linked something that was not very nice. It was not in support of trans women, let's just give it at that. And then she also liked this one. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but the most important sentence is, "Men in dresses get brocialist solidarity I never had." That's misogyny. Referring to trans women as men in dresses. J.K. liked it. She said it was an accident. Of course she did. Of course it was an accident. At that point in time, this was 2017, you could think that it was just a mistake. That was just an accidental like. But the rest wasn't accidental at all. This is in response to her accidentally liking certain tweets. However, as Magdalene was a great believer in the importance of biological sex and didn't believe lesbians should be called bigots for not dating trans women with penises, thoughts were joined in the heads of Twitter trans activists, and the level of social media abuse increased. Okay, I also have something to say about this. Biological sex is real, I already mentioned it. Having a genital preference is also valid. It's only considered transphobic, in my opinion, when the only reason you don't want to date someone is because they're being trans, even after having done all surgeries. But not wanting to date a trans woman because of a genital preference, that's fine. Now she actually started getting vocal about it. This was 2019, I think. And she tweeted something in response to this. What I am so surprised at is that smart people who I admire, who are absolutely science in other areas and champion human rights and women's rights, are trying themselves in knots to avoid saying the truth that men cannot change into women, because that might hurt men's feelings. That's someone tweeted that. J.K. Rowling, of course. She said this: "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who'll have you, live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for saying that sex is real. Hashtag I stand with Maya. Hashtag this is not a drill." This tweet is filled with sneak disses towards the trans community. Being trans is not just how you dress, because I could wear boy clothes for my entire life and still be a woman. Like, that doesn't change anything. You could also think that she's just saying that she doesn't care, with the call yourself whatever you like, dress however you please. But if you actually read between the lines, she just thinks it's just putting on a dress and change your name and stuff. It's not that she doesn't care. She does care. She cares a lot. Sleep with any consenting adult who'll have you. What are you insinuating, Joanne? What are you insinuating? That we don't? That trans people don't? Like, what the fuck are you insinuating? Force someone out of their job for saying that sex is real. No one is saying that sex isn't real. There is not a single person in this world that is telling you that sex isn't real. Because biological sex is the whole reason why a trans person transitions. Because if I wasn't born biologically male, I wouldn't have needed to transition. What about intersex people? Have you ever thought about that, JK? The next thing, I'm concerned about the huge explosion in young women wishing to transition, and also about the increasing numbers who seem to be detransitioning, returning to their original sex, because they regret taking steps that have in some cases altered their bodies irrevocably and taken away their fertility. Detransitioners exist. That's a fact. And I feel really sorry for them, because I can only imagine how traumatic it must be. They do exist. But people always act like they exist in high amounts. That's just not true. I do think hormones should only be prescribed after a long period of tests to lower the risk of people being diagnosed with something else. You have to make sure that trans healthcare is at the best it could be. Another tweet by J.K. Rowling, this is in 2020. Since writing my essay, I've received over 3,000 emails thanking me for speaking up. I've been brought to tears many times while reading, sometimes out of gratitude for their kindness, but also because many women have shared their own experiences of violence and sexual assault. Some emails came from professionals working in women's refuges, the prison service, the social work system, the criminal justice system, and the police. All expressed concerns about the aims and methods of current trans activism. In other words, she's basically saying that people are afraid that trans women will be put in women's spaces, in the criminal justice system, in prison, in refugees, in shelters. Like, Joanne, would you rather have us that? Because by not allowing trans women into those women's spaces, which is so crucial for them, to not allow that, you're putting our lives at risk. And this proves it. In 2008, a trans woman was found dead outside a homeless shelter run by the Salvation Army. The reason she froze to death on the street? Salvation Army refused to shelter her with the other woman due to her genitalia. This past spring, a transgender woman was sexually assaulted while sleeping in a men's homeless shelter. This is what happens if you don't allow trans women to shelter with other women. You're putting them at risk. And that's so fucked. It's so fucked that the Salvation Army rather wanted a person dead than put them with other women. This is also tweeted by J.K. Rowling. Astounding how often militant trans activists tell the rest of us, so what you're saying is, trans girls aren't real girls. Yes, that's exactly what we're saying. Girls are being robbed of honors and opportunities by mediocre, uber-privileged, establishment-enabled boys. So like I mentioned before, this is proof that she doesn't think trans girls are real girls. There are enough studies that show that a trans woman is a woman. Not listening to a writer of fantasy books. I'm not. And also this one. So if trans-identified men are pretty enough, as judged by you, men, women ought to agree they are a woman. Femaleness has no relation whatsoever to how well an individual performs femininity to male standards. This is the very definition of misogyny. Joanne, we all know that there's a lot of misogyny in the world still, but it's not the trans people that are it's not the trans people that are behind it, in my opinion. This tweet is honestly just a disaster, so I'm just gonna go straight to the next thing. This next tweet is by J.K. Rowling. It's been a while that she posted this, but she's making fun of gender-neutral language. People who menstruate. I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Woman, wimpund, woomut. Gender-neutral language doesn't hurt anyone. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt a woman. It doesn't exclude anyone out of a conversation. It's more inclusive. Because there are trans men who menstruate. There are assigned female at birth and non-binary people that menstruate. But they don't want to be seen as a woman, you know? So if you just use the term people who menstruate, then everybody who menstruate is like it's about them, which it is. There are some other people some women that don't menstruate, some cis women that don't menstruate. And then this, Emma Watson, aka Hermione in the Harry Potter universe, tweeted right after some of J.K. Rowling's transphobia, "Trans people are who they say they are and deserve to live their lives without being constantly questioned or told they aren't who they say they are." We love J.K. Rowling. We love Emma Watson. We love her. We absolutely love her. Troubled Blood, the fifth book, released under Rowling's Robert Galbraith pseudonym, has earned the author heavy criticism after an early review revealed it includes a cross-dressing serial killer. I would like to see you defend this, JK. I would love to see you defend this. But we all know you aren't going to defend it. You aren't. And then we're gonna end it with... Okay, here we go. J.K. Rowling. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. The penis individual who, or you, is a woman. You can just see that it's pure transphobia, right? There's nothing weird about what I'm saying. This is transphobia. Okay, not all trans people will follow the rules. There's not a single group that follows all the rules. There just isn't. And by phrasing your tweet like that, it's just transphobia. I'm getting a headache. Like, honestly, the J.K. Rowling things have been starting to play on my fucking mind. If you still believe that J.K. Rowling is not transphobic, then I don't know what to tell you, because I feel like the proof is in the pudding. This is enough proof. J.K. Rowling is transphobic and has always been transphobic. And that's also where I'm going to end it off, on a positive. She's a minority group, but they're loud as fuck. Loud as fuck. That was it from me today. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you again very, very soon back on this channel. And don't forget, we are still on planet Jupiter, just to get stupider. Goodbye.